All right. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can obviously use and abuse the purple bubble. I will do my best. You can also tag me in the background, and I am manning that area. And then you obviously have the Slack channel too, so that's awesome. Um, Everybody should already be logged in and have their projects open. Um, Before we start formally, were there any problems that anybody had? We didn't have any formal homework per se, but we did have the kind of little asterisk up at the top saying, please don't wait the full week to revisit your handiwork. And was there any snag for each and any one of you where you kind of revisited your project and then something went wonky? We'd like to know about that because one of the things that the guys are doing behind the scenes, tech in schools has created a curriculum, right? And in a lot of ways, we're test dummies and we figure out what works, what doesn't work. Saturday nights play that same kind of role. And if you're hitting a speed bump, it's not a you problem necessarily. It can be something that maybe more than one person is hitting that same speed bump, or maybe it's just something that we need to have on our radar so that we can communicate better so that we don't have those issues later on. A lot of you are listening in on the recording, which is always something that's fun. And you'll pick up on something. And obviously, if it's in a recording, you don't have the ability to ask us questions in real time. And so, there's stuff that comes out of the woodwork. And we're hoping that you will definitely put those things out in the open. Go ahead, John.
This is for the old, yeah, well, this is for this one, yeah. PNPM update lock file cannot install with frozen lock file because PNPM lock. um I, I don't know if anybody else has had that problem.
You're saying Paul Nancy, Mary Nancy?
Well, just hang on with issues.
Correct.
We'll go over that in 1 second.
Thank you.
I want to go over a few things before we go over a few issues that people may have.
I can say, John, that since I'm on a Mac, the last install thing I did npm, not the P.
Well, I also had the same problem, and I had to restart my whole computer to get it to even understand what npm was. So that happens too. But
Oh,
basically,
retro.
if you're installing it locally, you can do pnpm or npm. If you have a lock issue, you can delete the lock file. But okay. So here's the thing: if you guys don't speak up about what I'm about to say right now, I do not want to hear that we didn't get to what you wanted to do. That's your fault. So take responsibility for action starting now. First, if you want me to cover something in this public build specific to you, you should come up and tell me what you want to do. Because we're going to only do it once because we don't have like a bunch of weeks to do this. So what we're going to do is we could do a chain workflow. We could do a deep research. We could do a web search, web ingestion. So, what kind of thing do you want to create? We can create a few. But if you don't speak up now, I will never know, and we may not even get to you. So, first come, first serve. What do you want to see us do with this? Because now we're going to make the workflow dynamic. That's the first question I want everyone to answer. You could answer it by tagging me in the comments or coming up right now because I genuinely want to build things you want to build, you know? So that's first. So if you have something related to that, raise your hand, come up right now, and Sarah will call on you one by one.
All right, I'm going to go John first, then we're going to go to Sharon, and then we're going to go to Dan. So, John, you go first, and then we'll do the round robin. So go ahead, hon.
Okay, I don't know if this is possible, but an agentic workflow that can peruse competition online and then adjust the website or whatever digital marketing is to beat whatever the competitors are or do better.
Okay, I have a question now with that before we go to anyone else. This is a question specifically about that. the idea came up today while I was building. Would it be interesting for this API to have the ability to do like operator and actually use the internet, accomplish a task, and come back?
Absolutely.
Would that be interesting?
If it could be agentic and work and then have
Well,
safeguards,
operator, I mean, it literally uses the internet and acts on your behalf. So it's like,
abs-
yeah. So like, okay,
absolutely
cool. Well,
100%.
we can't do that right now, but I'm going to release an endpoint that's going to be operator. So you can use in our API operator to like go on the internet, do a search, compile information, come back, do other stuff, and return the answer. But yeah, for now, we could use a few things. We could use internet with Perplexity, and we could use ingestion. So you could be like, tell me about this company, insert web URL, and then like look on the internet for similar companies whose competition, return that result in a table. Similar thing.
Dream come true.
Okay, cool. I wrote it down.
Sharon's laughing at. She's like, "Yes, it is a dream come true." No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Sharon, and then we'll go to Dan, and then what comes to mind?
Yeah, I don't have a wish. I have a question regarding how long is today's course and what are we covering today? We're just playing around with different types of workflows, or what are we doing today?
You got somewhere to be?
Um, no, but I got so much damn work. I just want to know. I'm gonna stay here, but you know me, Ross.
We're just we're customizing the homepage. We are customizing the workflow to be dynamic. We're creating different renditions of what you can do, and we're gonna use the new endpoint for Firecrawl.
Oh, that's so awesome. I used it today. So what I'm trying to achieve, if I may say that, that so I want to build a chain of workflows and create, well, it doesn't matter. It's not so important. You guys just move on. It's all good.
Well, what were you gonna say? Just at least finish your thought.
Oh no, it's too complicated. I just want to I'll yeah, it's too complicated.
If you say so.
You know what? It's going to haunt you, friend. I'll just tell you, you should just kind of orchestrate it, figure it out, let it noodle around in your head for a minute, and then come back. But even though it's too complicated, some of these things, talking them out is actually the coolest thing. So, we're going to go to Dan. We're going to go to what comes to mind, and then we'll go back to rut row. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so just kind of want to give a high level overview of the project I'm building. And I've got a collaborator that is helping me with the design piece. So we've actually come a long way on the front end. But what we really need is, so the gist is we're building an escape room generator. And when you said, this operator piece, that I flipped my lid, because that's exactly what we need. And also, you had mentioned the first week, about having photos as an input. And that's something that I want to find different ways for the user to give some kind of direction to the generation of an escape room. So where we started, we've designed one already. We're trying to make it functional and just like do a full MVP of a fully functional one room. But the end game here is to make something that is able to have the user source things that are from their personal social media accounts, from somewhere else on the internet, from pictures, from obviously like a text input, just describing the room and the elements in it, but then also a way to kind of force things into like maybe 20 different parameters, if that makes sense. So that there's, like item 1, item 2, room 1, room or a door 1, door 2, stuff like that. So it's really a matter of, with the workflow, it's combining images, text, and real-time internet information. So that's what I'm working on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. You need to incorporate jump
well,
scares.
Listen,
I'm just telling you.
I want you to write your idea down in Idea to Impact and just share it so we have a record of it. What I want everyone to do today is think about a simple thing. So, like, AI John surprisingly did not overcomplicate it this time and exactly answer the question. One thing that I could add to this, because I'm demonstrating how you guys could build products. So you need to tell me like one thing that you could benefit from learning how to do. Don't give me your whole idea. I'm not building your whole product right now, though it's super
I
cool.
love it. I talked to John before the show and he's like, hey, I need somebody else to be the complex one. I'm like, got it. Okay, so the one big thing is I'm really interested in this. I didn't really. John knows I didn't. I'm really interested in being able to take an image as an input. Boom.
So images input we don't support, but you can still do it. So in theory, you could use like an image model that's free on Open Router, upload that to it, pass that information to the AI.
So what format would that be? Like, how would it digest it and then input it into the API? Would it go through text?
Yeah, it would turn it into text like it normally does. That's what it does anyways. It sees your image and
Right.
turns it into text.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's essentially doing like a reverse image generator.
Yeah, but that's what Vision is. We just don't support it in the API yet because for us to support it in the API, we have to do image checks to make sure you're not you, but like anyone, maybe you, is not posting Vision pictures so they should pictures they shouldn't be posting.
You know me, Ross. Yeah, I that's totally me.
Of course. So we have to build that and we have to build it carefully, that's all. Because it's like public API. And we're also not going to rely on you guys to be like moderation. We're going to moderate you whether you like it or not. All right. Anyone else have ideas? Because I'm writing them in Notion, and we're gonna attempt at some of them.
Ross, you do have other questions. Rutro has her hand up. What comes to mind? And then Masha. So Rutro, you go
Wait,
first.
actually, hold on. What comes to mind actually has an announcement. You want to make your announcement?
I will. I have
Do
a,
it, do it, do it.
so listen to Ross when he tells you to do something. So I kept running into an error. I don't know how I got banned. Trust me, I wasn't doing anything wrong. But in multi-bot beta was using Anthropic, 3.7 Sonnet instead of creating an agent. And it just wasn't going like literally I kept working on this thing for days and days and days. And finally Ross was like, why don't you just, use the agent and then, work it that way. And then you won't have this issue. So then I did that. And not only did it like present like a concept in a mood board on what I was working on, but then it was just much better. Like I literally kept running into this issue days and days. So when he says create an agent, and it's not that I was being rebellious, like I literally didn't think of that, but using agents is the way. Do not like for something like coding and stuff. Do not try to just use the Anthropic or the models. Create an agent, please, and listen to Ross. Please listen to Ross because it's much better and much easier. And Ross, the other thing that I was actually going to ask is what we discussed, but you just answered the question, so now I kind of know.
Yeah. We're gonna support images. We are. It's just we have to do it carefully because it's an API. But and you are right. Everyone should definitely listen to her. Using agents and giving it a little direction of how you want it to act is totally the way. Because you could be like, hey, you're a TypeScript amazing developer. You're the most advanced TypeScript developer the world has ever seen. When you wake up in the morning, you eat bowls of TypeScript. You're here to help me write code. That's far superior than just giving Claude your code and saying fix. Because I know y'all do that. You'll be popping in the code and just be like fix. Because you don't really know what to fix.
No, Rasha is so right because even before that, like versus the agent, it was like the code. I mean, listen, I'm not a coder, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I kept happening, and how it ended up so long is because the code was botched, and then when I did the agent, and then also like when I first like when we did our setup, then you told me to do it was something you gave me a command in the agent to do something with run code, and it completely first of all outputted the code differently. It was just a different level. And I said, oh, hell no. Like, I save time. So, yeah, it's a completely different experience when you do it that way.
Yep, it's true. And it takes
This is what. Oh, go ahead.
no, it takes a little longer to do, but setting up an agent will save you so much time and anxiety.
It's the do as I say, not as I did sometimes. But I will tell you, Ross does come up with some really awesome little nuggets. And then when you implement it, you're like, I cannot believe I did not do this earlier. I have had many of those moments. And a lot of times I just sit there and, when you stare at the screen because it was your fault. This was a Sarah problem and you have to own it. It sucks. But yes, finish your thought, what comes to mind, and then we'll go to Rutro and Masha.
Okay. Roz, I have one more question. And I know you said that for like the output, and we kind of like discussed this in Slack. Not we, but like Julie, Todd, and Rutro and I. But would we be able to use like Pixio API for like output
Yeah, so
of video? Thing?
the
Okay.
Pixio API is a thing. We are not covering it in this idea of impact. We might in the future, and it would be like a brief use of it. It's just a lot more expensive, to be honest. So if you wanted to get it, you could. You can just DM me, and I can show you how you can sign up for the Pixio API. It's more involved. You have to basically you'll get access to an H100, and then you have to build out your workflows using Comfy UI, and then you can include it as a call in your app. So in your app, you could have the text output something, let's say telling a story, and then you could take that story and turn it into a prompt, and then automatically get the image and do that all sort of automatically. That's where it's useful. If you're creating an app on the web that should use like Stable Diffusion or Flux or something, because then you can make, speaking of that, we just released video LoRa's. This is open source, guys. You can build the video LoRa's on the Pixio API, launch your own service that takes 10 to 20 headshots of a professional person, upload it. Then they can get 8 videos of them doing whatever they want in perfect realism using a LoRa. Now, this is open source. So you can get the Pixio API, build that, put it in your app. And that's it. It could be used. You don't have to buy credits. You don't have to do nothing. But in Pixio, you either need credits or maker mode. So that's like the difference between the apps. So if you wanted to get it, you could. It's just like the AI Tutor API, except you create a machine, create a workflow, hit that workflow.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen to the replay on what you just said. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. I can even show you a demo and set up like a little so you can see it. It's just we don't have free trial credits or anything because these GPUs are extremely expensive.
Oh no, trust me, I get it. I was just like thinking, of a way to do it, but you just explained another way to do it. But because I was like, wait, hold on, let me take baby steps. 'Cause I'm an ambitious person, but let me do baby steps. But okay,
Yeah,
what's
baby
that?
steps. And again, we're gonna have an idea to impact where we actually use the Pixio API, where everyone will get a little baby GPU just for 2 weeks, and then it will be deleted. But it'll allow you to try it. You won't get the H100s, but
Little baby GPUs. I'm so excited. Um, Rutro, thank you for being so patient. Go ahead, my love.
Well, geez, I want to do everything that everybody's done, but I definitely want to do what comes to mind has already created. Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, to make things quick, I wanted to look at sort of what we already did last week. The whole research. I got that down, but I want to be able to whatever comes out of that, download it, and be able to. I want it to be interactive, but then we can just go take it to the chat and maybe add other
so whoa,
assets and
slow
do it from
down,
chat.
breathe for like a second.
Oh,
Between
okay,
yeah.
sorry.
So you want the output. So you're not even talking about anything but output at this point. You want output to be downloadable into something.
Yeah, so the research, like what we did
Yeah, yeah. Like what
last
though?
week.
Like to what? What do you want?
Oh, like a learning or an outline of something, right? So, yeah,
To what?
a learning plan or something like
But to
that.
what? Like physically, like a PDF.
Like a PDF. Yes, a
Okay.
PDF.
Do you have like moonshots and then like baseline? Like what would be the best case and then like what you'll settle with. So for example, I'll settle with PDF format nice, but moonshot PowerPoint presentation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got it written down.
or like a little storyboard or something like that. Yeah, exactly. You know where I was going. So so I want it sort of interactive, but working within these tools, I'm trying to make it sort of work. But yes, that.
There's no working within these tools. This is like, stop
Okay,
saying
just
that.
okay.
There's
Okay.
a million tools. You could literally turn it into a video, the output, using
Okay.
Remotion.
Bust
There's
out.
100 bazillion tools. You need to come up with an idea. Your
I
biggest
got the
problem is
idea,
the
but yeah,
creativity, not the tools. The tools are there.
got you, got you. And then I guess also, I guess sort of the chaining, but also the output. I think we're sort of talking about inputting and ingesting videos or pictures or images, but how about the output? And we just talked about that. So those are my things.
Okay, so no ingesting video, that's for sure. But you could use the YouTube API to ingest a YouTube link, turn that into content. There's a lot you could do. Also, you can
And
try
how about
fire crawling a
scraping?
YouTube. Oh,
And
well, we're gonna scrape. That's already
okay,
live.
cool.
I
Okay.
put it live a few days ago.
Yeah, last time. Yep. Thank you.
But we'll go over how to use it.
All
That's
right.
it.
So, Ruh-roh, you crack me up. I'll just tell you, you crack me up, and I love you to the moon and back. Um, it's so cool. We have such cool Pocket family. We're gonna go to Masha next, and then we're gonna swing back around to Dan, and then cycle through to what comes to mind. Ghost, I see that you're up here. This is during class, so if you have a question, you can go ahead and DM us or put it in the purple bubble. We're bringing up people that are sussing out issues for their class projects. So just notice that note that I see you. But we're just kind of leaving the speaker panel for students tonight, but giving you a giant tackle hug. So Dan, go ahead and ask your question first, hon.
I think it was Masha. Masha first.
Well, Masha
Right?
just went, didn't she?
Oh,
No, I just
what?
put my hand down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Masha. Thank you, Dan,
Yes,
for being a gentleman. And then we'll go to Dan, and then what comes to mind? Holy smokes, Batman. Go ahead,
yeah,
Masha.
thanks, Dan. Yeah, hi, first of all, everyone. Part of my question was already answered, and that was about the YouTube thing or like working with videos. But the other thing was, Ross, how would you go about turning speech into text, like getting a transcript of something? Is there a way we can utilize?
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of ways. Um, I actually have code that I can share with you privately that will let you host something that you just put a YouTube URL and it grabs transcript for you. It basically
Oh,
helps LLMs ingest. It's what we use for our agents in Multibot to understand YouTube videos.
oh, that would be amazing. That
We
would
all
be
want
great.
that, Ross.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Well, I will be posting it in where all our source code is. So if you have access to our source code folder, it'll be there.
Thank you so much.
And if you don't have access to our source code folder, you should join and get access and support this awesome class because it's very cheap. Just saying.
What are you talking about? Source code? Is there a place where we put our source code?
Not you.
Mastery.
I put source code for you
Oh
guys
yeah, I
to have.
mean you. Yeah. Not me. You. Nobody wants my source code because it's
Well,
junk. Absolute
no,
junk.
some of your source code is really good.
I know we use it in the past, but no. Where do we go on Slack? Is that where a source
No,
code?
it's in Google Drive. There's a folder inside Mighty Networks.
Oh, that what we shared last.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I got all your ideas. Any other ideas?
Yeah, so this is just kind of circling back a little bit to what Rutro was asking, and then what you were talking about with this video, Laura. It got me thinking, like, the thing I really want that would help all my workflows right now, in my work workflows, is something that can output like an 8-frame storyboard. Because I happen to have a little burgeoning production company with Rutro and Julie, and basically the TSI crew. And also, it's what I do for work with students. One of the assignments is create a storyboard, and kindergartners through third graders, that takes a long time to even teach that. And if we can have some quick models that we can take their ideas and instantly show them, then it'll be like, oh, okay. So I think that could be a really useful thing to do for a lot of different projects, to be able to ideate out. Like, also, I just we just are doing a video game with the Washington Capitals, and I needed to create really quickly this eagle in a whole bunch of different poses that were really close to each other. So I wanted to slightly shift things. So I think something like that could have a lot of use cases in a workflow.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like learn how to answer a question. Try again and break it down to one thing. One thing you want me to do and show you how to do. Not your whole thing. Not the whole
How
workflow. One thing.
right. Okay, so here's one thing. How do you create a workflow that will output a PDF that has 8 cells of an image that is very close replicas of each other, but not
Okay, what do
exactly?
you you lost me at cells. What do you mean?
Well, each human body is made up of million. I'm just kidding. So little squares on the same piece of paper, or it could be a Google slideshow. Basically, just something that shows this happens first, this happens next. So it's sequential
No, so like I
in
get
nature.
the PDF, right? But then what did you said the other stuff?
The cells, so just little pictures. Like if you think of a storyboard, or a comic book, the little cells of pictures.
Or like what Julie built a few seasons ago on her own. That was really cool.
What was that? How did I miss that?
What do you mean?
It's sort of like what you were talking, Ross, with the sort of like PowerPoint, but it was sort of like a sway. I don't know what to call it. She has it called something I'm not familiar with, but it was really cool. It was sort of like showing her website. It was really cool.
Oh, I think I remember. But you can get a PDF. We're actually going to go over that. That seems to be something everybody wants to learn. So that we are going to cover.
Say it again. What do we want to learn? I sorry, I didn't understand. What PDF?
How to basically have it output a PDF as well,
Oh.
if you wanted the output to be a PDF, or like not just a text document
Yeah, I
or
learned
just
that
text.
from you, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Python is just really awesome when it comes to those things. I'm sorry, but I have to say that. I know you guys say Python is a toy.
No,
It's
no,
I
it's
love
good.
it.
It's
I
good.
love
It's
Python.
great. It's not a toy. It's like, okay. The thing is, the problem is that we we use Python, but the way you're designing Python is like not smart, right? For deployment. It's totally smart for playing around and doing things on your computer. But when it comes to deployment, you'd want to use like Next.js or a proper front end that's secure to actually hit your Python backend. Like a lot of our software, like 80% of it runs in Python, but you'll never interact with it because it's backend API framework. So all you have to do is graduate from Python toys to APIs that you build from your Python toys. See, the thing you need to understand, Sharon, is the things that shackle you. So like a real computer to do your research is not it's not really a shackle once you're in like Next.js because of things like Firecrawl that you can literally deploy in Python and then use Next.js to do everything you're doing on your computer, but better because you can actually get through captchas, as you've seen demonstrated using our API.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, I mean, I understand that, right?
It's not that it's bad though. You shouldn't think it's
Yeah, yeah,
bad. It's
no,
just
but
you need to graduate to where it's like running in APIs. That's all.
yeah. The beauty is just when you're building, when you're doing local stuff, right? So my call bot is it's just runs, I don't need a front end basically for it. But of course, if I were now to take this and wanted to give this to someone and build a custom tool for a client, right? I would then go ahead and Dockerize that stuff and make spin up a Next.js front end wrapper, so to say. Correct? Is that right?
So what you would do is you would use something like Fast API and turn whatever you're doing in Python into a Fast API route. So like for you, it would be like Deep Shower and Research,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
that would be hosted on Railway, right? I can help you do it. Like if you ever
Oh,
want to do it, just
oh,
call me.
I can do
It's
it.
pretty easy. Like we
So
build
yeah,
APIs
fast
all the
API.
time.
So just fast API.
So
Okay.
you would host that, and then you build Next.js and be like, oh, to do deep research, hit this Railway. And then it would go to the Railway, hit your API, which would run in Python, and then return information in JSON as a return statement to your app. Maybe one idea to impact, we'll build a Python API at a Next.js front end to do something.
Yeah, because I think this would just be great for everyone. Yeah, because certain things kind of just work good in Python. They're just solid and they're stable. But I understand where you're going, right? You need to wrap it properly, to make sure it works, it's secure.
Well, it's not just that. It's like if someone uses it and then some like
Mhm.
if you log into Pixio and then all of a sudden Dan logs into Pixio. But wait, Lover's logging into Pixio too. Now it's a party. State logs in and Julie logs in and then Alton logs in and you're all generating. If this was just Python, you'd have to wait for each other to finish.
Oh, it's super slow because it's very intense.
Well,
Okay,
because
I
it's singular use. It's like one
Yes.
person at a time. That's why when you build the
Yeah.
API on top of Python as a layer on top, everyone could use it at the same time.
Mm. Okay, that's cool.
That's the benefit.
What's the
You know,
difference between Oh, sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
go ahead. Nope,
Can
finish
I
your
ask
thought. Finish
why?
it.
I just
Can I
want to
ask?
know what the difference
Mhm.
is between REST API and FAST API.
No,
What's the
it's the same. So REST
Oh,
API is the same as Fast API. Fast API is just a way to turn your Python into REST API, like immediately. Super easy.
oh my gosh, I love these things, these enlightening moments.
Yeah, it's actually incredible when you understand it because then you could build products that do insane things. Like what we're about to release, like with Operator, is going to combine Operator and deep research in one thing. And it's
I
because
mean,
we're building our own entire backend infrastructure.
you guys think about it. You guys are we're basically a step. So I love this Manus AI, right? It's just wild. And people think it's so magic. It's really crazy. But what do we have at the end, Ross? Would you maybe like to speak on that? Because first of all, our agentic workflow tooly thingy, our API, sorry, what am I calling this? I'm acting like a little child. Our, let's say the proper name, AI Tutor API. We're moving in that direction. So your tool is already so powerful. And what Masha was asking, hey, voice input, text to speech, speech to text, all that crazy stuff. We could build something like Manus AI. Do you
You know,
agree or disagree?
these things are super easy to build when you break down how it's all working. I mean, when you try later on in a few days and you try the browser, you're going to kind of see what I'm talking about. It's really, really interesting what you could do. And when you combine like this API with, for example, our operator API that we're about to release, which by the way doesn't exist because I have to build a fast API wrapper around what I built. Like I have to literally do what I just said. And I didn't do it yet. So that's the next step is turning what I built in Python into something I can hit via API. That's the next step.
Sharon, or for everybody here, this is kind of a side note, but Adafruit has a bunch of really cool what does Python do? Right? Python and AI are like peanut butter and jelly, right? They go together. And so, sometimes, you have all of the AI tutor and you have the ability to lean into all of these things. But sometimes, just watching like the little pieces, there's a woman named Anne Barella, and she's amazing. And, it just kind of puts a broad stroke on why Python, because once you understand why Python, you don't think anything else because it's just so sexy to AI. It's lovely. What comes to mind has her hand up. I don't know if you see that, Ross. She's got a
I do
question, and then
not,
we'll go
but
to
let's
Artie
get through all the
Fish.
questions before we move on to the next part.
Yep.
Okay,
So let's go to what comes to mind, and then we'll go to Artie Fish.
quick question. Voice output. That's what that's not what to do. It's voice output.
So you can already do these things with like 11 Labs. So for example, you can go to 11 Labs, grab an API key, and you should be good.
Cool. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. We're moving through. Artie Fish, you had your hand up first for a second there, and then it went down, I think, or maybe it was just a live mic. Did you have a question, hun?
No, hey everybody, how you doing? I just wanted to kind of grasp the API thing. So, what makes it trick the Pixio into letting everyone use it at one time? Is it like everyone's using like one person's logged in on the same API?
Yeah, so basically everyone on Pixio uses one API that we created to orchestrate how it all works. So it helps Pixio understand like how to operate, how many jobs to do, when to process jobs, what people are writing in prompts, things like that. Errors. It helps like
So,
turn all that
so
into something we could use.
so if we log in with Python, then only one person can use it at a time. That's what I was trying to see the difference there.
Yeah,
See what I
that's
mean?
how Python's created. Python
Right on.
can create a server that can do all the things that we're talking about.
Cool. All right. That was my only question.
It's like if you guys know what the Jupyter Notebook is, if you ever heard of this, if you put that online, only one person can use it at a time. That's basically what it is, but without a fast API. But when you guys are using, here's another example, Comfy UI. You can use Comfy UI if two people use it at the same time, everything's garbage and messes up. But because of our API, each person gets their own version of Comfy UI and their own server and their own GPUs virtualized in Python. So because of Python and Fast API, we can make Comfy UI multi-user, which doesn't even exist by the people who made Comfy UI. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other requests for what I'm going to attempt to go through?
I think Dan might have one. He had to drop and then I bounced him back up. So he might have had a question. I just want to make sure before you continue. Dan, did you have something to say, love?
Oh no, I couldn't hear anymore, so I did a lap.
You went for a little spin.
I did a
got it.
walkabout.
Oh, I'm glad that worked out for you. I guess it's Salvador ambulado. It's solved by walking. Go ahead, Ross.
Nothing. I just was looking to see if anyone wants to make any requests before I just start building. Because that's what this is all about today, is customizing this template that exists. Any other takers?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Now,
You're good to go.
I want you
Can
guys
I
to
ask you
notice.
something, Ross? Can you just, so is this all for today? Are
Yeah,
we going to
right.
be doing that all today or for the
Yeah.
future?
Yeah, we're doing it all today. What do you got? You got somewhere to go?
No, I thought all those workflows, it's a lot. If everybody puts their idea, okay, I'm
No, we're
I'm
gonna
here
go
for it.
over
It'll
it.
be
We're gonna
fun.
go over how to
It'll
do
be
it.
fun. Okay, I'll add my idea at the end if we still have time.
Add it now.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys this now, but so I was thinking hyper solution, right? So if you go to, well, it doesn't really matter. Who cares? Long story short, I do want to chain numerous LLMs because I want to put, so imagine you would give someone a report about something, a fast research. But you would need to get the info or the data for that research report from different places. That's how I want to put like a resource report system together, meaning that we get more accuracy. We have LLMs that can judge the other LLM during the process and check and correct and maybe add on to it until you get the perfect report regarding that specific topic. So that's the tool that I wanted to build beside all my other crap that I want to build. I'm crazy. But what do you think about that? I know it's a bigger thing. And there's a couple of things that I need to figure out that are probably a little bit complicated from the creative side because I have to trick the
Okay,
work.
so
I have to, okay, yeah.
what I think what you're you know guys okay. So like let's say you have 3 workflows that run on the same page, right? Think like
Mm-hmm,
Beam for workflows.
mm-hmm,
Then they all respond, you get the outputs. then you could, in theory, use another AI workflow to combine all the input into a PDF, a report from 3 different perspectives. Workflow 1 could be like a news reporter. Workflow 2 could be like someone in business news. You know what I mean? Workflow 3 could be like investment news and banking. So you can do something like that, which would get you the result. It would take
Yeah.
three workflows to make it like 3
Yeah.
different people.
And different types of data also, because I don't want to stress out one model with one
Well, you
thing
can
because
have
I
one
want more
model look up
accuracy.
like I don't know, like website URLs or latest blogs, and then another one do something different, and all of them could basically use Perplexity Sonar Pro, and it would be perfect.
Yeah, but your fire crawl is way more sophisticated, way more accurate, and I would use this is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
crazy.
that's new.
That's where
Yeah.
that's where the complicated thing comes in place. Well, it's not really complicated. You're probably gonna say it's funny. I'm
Well,
not
it's
gonna
not
say that.
complicated. Like
I'll tell
Firecrawl
you
can go
what.
anywhere and to one
Yeah,
place.
but let me tell you something. So the user will not be, I want to trick that workflow because I will not be putting a URL in there. The URL needs to be a static URL. So what I want to do is have the trigger happen through the workflow completion through the input of the user, but the user cannot trigger that the person will not be able to trigger the next workflow with an input. I want to trick it and have my Python script or whatever script I'm writing trigger the next workflow.
You don't need that.
Because
That could be done in Next.js. And no, that's what we're talking about.
Okay. So that's why it was a little bit complicated. I'm kind of dumb the way I'm explaining it. I do understand it, but kind of not. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Okay. So anyone else? So we're good.
So is this the same VS Code or
Yeah, it's
different?
just the same project.
Okay. So we just need a pull.
There's nothing to pull.
That looks different, man. Come on now.
Yeah, well,
And I
I
see.
just took a component into AI Tutor and I was like, make it better. And now it made it even better. So we're gonna see what it looks like now. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to do this. Like right now. So open VS Code and open AI of your choice. Could be AI Tutor, it could be any AI. Preferably Sonnet has been just doing great.
I just wanted to, Raj, I do see your request. The only folks we have on stage are the students for class. So I just wanted you to know I see you, but we're only bringing up the folks from class in general. And if you want to go and learn alongside of us, Ross has the live stream up top. So I'm giving you a giant tackle hug. So thank you for being here. Go ahead, Ross.
So you want to make sure you have it running. So if you do not have it running, hit PM run dev or npm run dev. And what I did is I searched for one thing I wanted to change, which was the word SaaS, and it took me to the component, which is the hero. And I just asked AI Tutor to redesign it to be about powerful AI workflows, not like a SaaS template, because I don't want that. And that's how you do front end changes. And then in a minute, we're going to go to the API and you guys are going to want to log in and we're going to make some workflows and go over some like different tactics that you can do. All right, I'm going to try this really quick. So if you want to do what I'm doing, go to AI Tutor, go to Claude, anywhere. What you're looking for is hero.tsx. And I'm literally just overwriting the entire page to see what changes. Oh, cool. See? So we'll get rid of this because this is like developer, but this is nice. It made this. It made all this. The button needs a little work, but this is cool. And this button needs work. Okay. So inside, it looks like this, which you also could redesign. But first, we're going to go to the API. We're going to make some of this stuff. Okay, so the first one on the list is competition checker. Now, the thing is, guys, when you're creating these workflows, you want to make sure that you understand in code, you're going to have to put these things, right? So, for example, my first variable, let's say this was to be their website, like the label should be just URL. If it had to be 2 words, you can do URL dash 5, you know? But we're going to leave it like this. This URL would be an ingestion with Firecrawl. So, what does this mean? So, in its simplest terms, explain what this link is about would be the simplest use case.
John, did you have a quick question for Ross?
I forgot it.
We'll get to it.
That's okay.
So
That's
let's say
okay.
I save this and I ask it to tell me about the URL. It's actually not going to use Sonar. So another tactic that you can do is you can actually choose, in this case, let's say you wanted where's OpenAI? Like let's say you wanted 4.0. But we know that 4.0 doesn't have web search. But what if it could? So what if you could use the power of 4.0 or Sonnet or whatever and web search? So we're going to ask it what's on a website. Now, because it's Firecrawl, few things are interesting. Even if the website's blocked, Firecrawl will work. Why? Because it goes through something known as stealth mode. What we're using an operator. The idea behind it is you're able to emulate a person using the internet. So if it's blocked, like Reddit is blocked, this would actually be able to get it. So if I put this URL, it should explain what this is. It's not going to do much with the info. I don't even know what it's going to say, but it should be like, this is Amazon. And here's what it does. And then you could, from that point, look, there you go.
Ross, I don't know if you see Magna's hand. He just
I do
arrived. He's a
not see
little late.
hands.
Well, he would like to speak with you. Magna, welcome to class.
Hi guys, my apology. I just jumped in. There's nobody in the room right now with me, so I thought I'd stop in. I'm damaged. I got hurt, and I've got a doctor working on my foot right now. And I am sorry to have missed, but I'm gonna have to jump off here in a second because I'm sure there'll be somebody in here in any minute. So I'm on. They've got me on some pain medicine right now, and I'll be better probably next day or two, but they may keep me
Well,
overnight. We'll see.
feel better, and we'll have the
Lots of
replay.
love. I just wanted to let you guys know that I miss you and I miss class, and I'm going to try and catch up the best way I can. I may text you guys
Yeah,
to
if
get
you
some
need
notes,
help, let us know
whatever.
in Slack, and we're happy to help you.
Thank you guys. Lots of love. Appreciate it.
I'm sending you some healing vibes,
Oh,
okay, Magna?
thank you so much.
If you need
You don't
anything,
even know. I missed you guys tonight, and I told my wife, I said, God, now I feel like really bad because right in the middle of class, and I missed you guys. Like, but I'll talk to you soon. I promise. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
aw. Well, you can always join tomorrow morning too for the rehash if you're alive and kicking and willing and wanting to
Yeah,
do some stuff. So don't
yeah,
worry about that.
100%. I will try to be there for in the morning. So
Excellent,
thank
excellent.
you.
Well, feel better, honey.
Lots of love.
Rutro, did you have a question?
I do. I'm sorry. I think I might have missed it. So where's the fire crawl piece, or did I miss that? Or
Firecrawl is just an input, so it's just web page content.
okay.
So now, if I put Sonar, here's what actually is going to happen. So we have two things. We have the ability to ingest from a URL, and the ability to reason, and the ability to reason with the internet. So now, if I ask it, we're going to change the prompt. So we're going to say, explain what this link is about, and then provide a report on this company regarding what it does. So something simple. So now we're going to test it. We're going to see, can it go get the info, then make an informed decision to understand and then do something with that information. So this is interesting because if you wanted to ingest info from a site, whether it's like a PDF or whatever it is, and include it into this workflow, this is probably the most interesting way. You can kind of hack the what we're doing with Firecrawl by like using your own cPanel, making your own links of things for it to Firecrawl. So now you can see here, it actually did it. It was able to deduce what Amazon does by both using Firecrawl and sonar reasoning. You see how this can be used together, guys? So we got what this is from Firecrawl. We use that information with sonar. And this is like a very simple example. And then here's the citations. And this all comes directly in the API. Hold on one second. And this all comes directly from the API. You can see it sort of at the bottom, right here. See all these links? So it's pulling all these links for you here. And you could use this and expose them into your app. So when I think about agentic looking at competition, it's like these are tools that are interesting. So like a big company would be like CVS, let's say, like a drugstore. So I'm gonna say we will be looking into this website URL. Now we have to create like a report and figure out about competition. So we're gonna go to AI Tutor and we're gonna ask, we'll use executive, say create what makes a really good business competition report. What should be inside? So by asking AI itself, it can figure out what needs to be in there, you see? So I'm using AI to figure out what do I need. So I'm gonna say turn this into a paragraph prompt. Now it's gonna turn it into, look, see? More detailed, you have web search abilities. So now, there we go. Okay, cool. So then in here, we need to compare the company in the website info to, and that's where the new company name, see? Company name. Well, no, compare. Follow these guidelines for making a professional report. The output should be a professional report.
Hey Ross, I know you don't necessarily see hands, but in this, this might be a really good opportunity to include in the report where are the market gaps, because that's how I think if you find out in the report that this is not a good fit, there's already plenty of people covering whatever this is. If it could deduce the market gaps, it could give you a way to actually harmonize with what's already out there. So that could be a really interesting piece of a report.
All right, I added it, dude. We'll see.
I see that. Thank you. I feel so heard.
Dan.
Okay, now hold on. Something got weird here. There we go. Also, dashes don't work. So I would just have no space, just do nothing. I might add support for dashes. It just confuses code, so. Okay, this is good. And then once done, that's this section. So the market gaps, so it should have. Okay. Okay. So this looks good. All right, so now we're gonna get CVS, right? And then it would be like another, what's another company? Dwayne Reed, right? Sworn enemies. Hold on. All right, so in theory, this is going to be a different kind of prompt. You guys see how you can sort of work with the tools that you got to do super interesting things?
So the hyphen in the squigglies creates two inputs.
What do you mean?
Well, you've got URL and company name. Oh, okay. In the thing you had ULR and company name, but they were just in a different layout. All right.
Yeah. It's two inputs. One is a website for ingestion. The other one's another company name. But because we have the power of internet, we can actually do stuff with the ingestion and search simultaneously and format an answer. Which is pretty cool. And there you go. Dwayne Reed, it's doing it. Look at that, guys. Market gaps.
That's incredible.
And then the next
Then you take this data and you format it in your app, basically. This is two inputs to pull this one off. Now, because workflows are shareable, right? I could export this and share it with you in Slack. How cool is that? So this demo is being shared right now in Slack. And so if you want to import this workflow to your API, you could. So cool. You just download the JSON. And then when you go to workflows, you can hit import. So we're doing advanced workflows right now. That's what we're learning about. Wow, 17,000 tokens. See how crazy that is? What a bargain. 17,000 verse 1. This would be agentic, looking at competitions, ingesting, and reviewing. Everyone follow what I did, why I did it?
Yes. At least, yeah.
Okay. So the next one, it's similar, but we can't do it all here. We can just create the first part here. So that's what we're going to do. So you guys asked about output, download a PDF. format, and it'd be cool if it could be PPTX. Okay, so pretty much for this, all of them kind of do structured outputs. Perplexity is the most horrible at this, right? So a good example, we'll find something that's like public. Global AI. Oh my god. That is not a blog.
Don't get red carded, Ross.
No. So Gemini 2.0, Google has like a blog about it. So what if I wanted to go to that blog and turn it into a PDF? Let's see how we would do this. Blog to PDF. Take the information here, and then we'll do blog URL and turn it into a PDF. Summarize the content to be interesting and fun to read. Maintain a fun, energetic tone, slight satire. Okay. What have I trying? Interesting and font? No, fun to read. Okay, and again, these can be much more involved, but we're even gonna make it better. Reset. Okay, good.
I just had a thought. Because this can be done, that means that anybody who puts anything out on the internet, it can be taken, stolen, swiped.
Oh yeah,
Do you believe that eventually everything that has any value is going to be behind a firewall? And the only way you're going to get access,
you can't. Firewall meaning what? Pay to play?
yeah, if you want our specific content that we've got, you've got to pay dollar a month or whatever for access, because we're not going to publish on the internet because it's going to most likely be taken and used. Because that's
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I was just testing today. Not particularly proud of this, but it is exists, and there's going to be a pop up when you use this feature in AI Tutor that's going to warn you. But I mean, I was able to use our browser to solve captchas, which is how I got it to log on to Twitter. So things definitely are about to get weird. And a good example is like Reddit, right? We could search Reddit, whereas like normal ways of ingestion cannot.
have any idea speculating where that brings us in a year or how that changes everything? Because it'll take a while for everyone to get understanding what's
Honestly, that's a bigger question, so I don't have the answer to that. But what I do have the answer to is I'm building tools to help you actually utilize this stuff and build things.
sorry.
Because it's not about being like it's not even a bad thing. We just have to understand that we could potentially be automating a lot of things in the future, and we have to understand how to do that now.
Got it. Sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. You're good. It's a good question. It's just, I mean, I could spend all day answering that question. um, so I have it ingesting right now. So it's all it's doing is simple one input for ingestion. Now I could change it because now AI Tutor understands how to use variables. So I could ask it use more variables to give the user more input to the final result. Make it more detailed and amazing. And then example of format of input variables. So now it's going to make more. Yeah, see? Pretty cool. Okay, now we just need to tell it not to put these things. So don't include examples in parentheses.
Sorry, but I'm just seeing on the screen, did you change the little icon of Claude? That is so cute.
Isn't he nice now? Now he's super professional.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Suit and tie. Is that what I'm seeing? Is that
Yeah.
suit and tie? Oh my gosh, how
He's
sweet. I
ready
didn't
for
see it
work.
on mine. Where is I'm using AI right now. I'm not my Claude 3.7 so it still has the brain.
You might have to
Oh,
refresh.
oh, that's so cute. You know what? I started using these. They're so powerful. I never use them.
I
I
know.
always just use developer. I'm
I
so
know. There's
stupid.
more to life than
They're
developer.
powerful. I know.
So this is like a very nice multi-step workflow. John loves the multi-turn, multi-step. So look at this. Look how good that is. Oh my goodness. We're gonna try it.
So how did you get that multi variables to input those like that automatically?
Isn't that so cool? By the way, I can't see who's talking. Who's talking?
It's already.
Oh, nice. I just use these variables. So see these
Oh, I see.
yeah.
I see. Okay, awesome. That's pretty cool, man.
It's so cool. So now I could be like, just make all these little things that my inputs that we could control via API, right? Um, Now I'm just literally going through these and
What's
just
the
so you
di-
can see
what's
how crazy this could be.
what's
You have two tone labels.
Huh?
You have two tone labels. I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, it does. It's okay.
what's the difference in output and how the LLM manages this as opposed to when I use a multi-bot and create AI agents where I
Same.
can what?
It's the same pretty much. You could literally use these variables in multibot too. Did you know that?
Did not. Okay, so they can enter so if I've got something in multi-bot that's really
Yeah, you could
kicking it,
turn
I
it
can put it
into
right into here.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so now that I've spent 40,000 years putting all this in, um, here's what the input looks like for the user. So you would have all of this exposed to your app. Look how many different things you would have in your app. Look how cool this is. So now, really, the most important thing, right, is this Google blog article. So we're gonna get that, which is this is the article. So you guys can see it. I'm gonna get it and put it inside the API like that. So tone, happy, knowledge, easy to read. Voice, excited. Tone, professional. Style, blog style. Focus on why this matters. Special elements, cost of API. Personality, easygoing. Target, entrepreneurs.
So I guess you could just tell it maybe use 5 variables next time.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I'm showing you guys how this works.
Yeah, it's awesome. You said use variables. It could have given you 100 rolls.
I know. But this is why it's really cool. It's really cool to use lots of variables in your app because look how customized you can create something that someone could use AI and it's like all super easy to use.
So I guess if you leave one blank, it just doesn't use that one, correct?
I think so, yeah. But I'm gonna fill them all in.
Well, will you leave one blank and see if it gives you an error?
No, because if it makes me refresh, then I'm gonna want to jump out of the window. But I'll do it right after.
Come through my screen, right?
Yeah.
All good, man.
So very simple things. Now, when I run this, it's like highly specialized. So like the answer is going to be crazy because one, GPT-4 does not have search right now. I mean, it does, but that's not what we're using. It does now, and it's not available yet in API. Soon it is, but it is in AI Tutor and Multibot. So if you guys want to try searching right now, you can go to Multibot Beta and use the new GPT search. Just launched today. Now you can see this is running, and it takes all this info and whatever's on this blog, and it's going to basically create me a blog article. Not an article, but like a PDF that I can then use Next.js to turn into a PDF. And I'm gonna show you how to do that too. It's pretty easy. So here's the answer. Look how cool this is. It like summarized the entire blog article. Made it super easy to read. You can even understand the importance. And so this is like a complicated workflow using Firecrawl. And Firecrawl is just choosing website content. Now here's what's even crazier. Did you know you can do like 5 Firecrawls? So you can have it take like 5 different URLs. So you can create an app called URL analysis. Input all the URLs for your website, main pages, your 5, 6 URLs, and you can have it analyze each page, page by page, and apply potential fixes or things you can do to make it better. These are just some of the things that you can accomplish with the AI Tutor API. And there's so much more to come. And we're going to be announcing more as, time progresses, but it's actually going to be rolling out to everyone in a few days. So everyone, even without AI Tutor, will be able to get the API.
Is the Google API very expensive? Because one thing I did some drilling down, and if you do this and you say, "Hey, go do a search," it's not going to give you the same search results as Google.
No, but
So there, so
there's two kinds of things, right? There's the Gemini search, and then there's Vertex AI, which is like pay per call. So it's not expensive, but it's also not free. So depending on your volume of calls would depend on your bill. So for example, instead of using Google searches, right, we're using Firecrawl. Why? Well, Firecrawl can be ran right here in my house. So we're running our own Firecrawl servers. So we don't actually even have
Ross,
to pay Firecrawl.
I don't want to interrupt your train of thought. Sharon does have her hand up, and so does Rutro. I just wanted to tell the folks in the audience, we do have 5 requests to come up on stage. This is a hack schooling scenario. You are in a digital makerspace and during class. And so we reserve the speaking roles just for our students. And I hope that you understand that we do see you and look forward to hearing your voice on Saturday in the Innovators Think Tank. But please do understand that we're saving those spots just for our students. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I apologize for the interruption, my dear. Sharon, did you want to go first and then Rutro before Tech in Schools continues? Go ahead, Sharon.
I'm good, Sarah.
Excellent, excellent. That's one check the box. Go ahead, Rutro.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't see what was inputted for the blog, but I'm asking it. My question is there a limit to how big of a thing that it can ingest and do this to, like summarize?
No, because Firecrawl is awesome and open source, and whatever power you give it is the amount of power it has.
So like a 1,000-page book?
In theory, yeah. But just remember, in production, right? You're responsible for your token use. So if you use 2 million tokens, you're going to need to cover those credits or it won't work.
Got it, got it. Yeah.
So your bottleneck is not me, right?
Yeah,
Your
got it.
bottleneck is going to be a credit card at that point.
I keep going back to my book, my storytelling thing. Sorry.
You could build anything. It's just this is not AI Tutor. So like if AI Tutor came out with, let's say, a way to ingest 1,000 pages, which we pretty much already do in Ultra, you wouldn't be able to replicate that in the API while using your like unlimited tokens. You would be responsible for every token past whatever number you have right now. So in production, you would want to buy like a pack of tokens. But for your own single use, you're going to get tokens every month as part of being an AI tutor subscriber, which is crazy because no one does that ever. So I'm going to be the first. But there is no limit. Again, the limit is going to be simply like when you're here in settings, you're going to have like these credits, they're going to go down basically. So that's the real bottleneck. Firefall can handle anything. Scraping, well, we just did that. So whoever had scraping, Firecrawl could scrape. You can literally just create a scraper. Like, even if you wanted to really make a scraper, you could. Look, I like Sonnet for this one. I'll show you why. We'll have some fun with it. Return the info in JSON format for my app. So let's say you wanted to use it as part of your app, but never actually show anyone, right? It's mainly like you're building your own API on my API, which is really funny. But it could work. So we're going to call this site, and turn on content, save. That's it, really easy. I'll go to the same Google DeepMind blog article, put it here. Now we should be able to get in JSON format the content scraped off this page. So it's running right now, and we'll see what it does. Look, how cool is that? Look how it responded, guys.
And I see Ross, he got disconnected from X or from the speaker panel somehow from X. So I'm bringing him up right now. Don't worry, guys. He might have to do a full lap if it's not letting him accept. Oh, nope, we're good. Awesome. All right, now we're good.
So this is the response. See, it's code, not words. Structured outputs, people. So this would scrape any URL. So you just made your own scraper. And here's how you use it. You just use this. This workflow scrapes any URL given and provides you an output for your app. Your app can take this information and display it however you want. It could even create a whole website page based on this information. Did you know that, guys? Programmatic website pages based off blog posts. So that's how you scrape. Any questions on scraping?
Yes, can you share that? And sometimes my mind gets a little overloaded. Is there a repository that where you're going to have these prompts or like this is written?
No, well, not here, but I built it, guys. So if you go to the workflow app that I made, you can make your workflows there and share them with your friends. That's literally why I created that thing.
Can
The
you put
AI
the
workflow hub.
can you put the link in the
Yeah, sure.
thank you.
So if you guys go to Slack, you can join the AI workflow hub. You can share workflows with your friends. This is what it's for. And what's great about this website is you can actually charge for your workflows too. And we don't actually facilitate payment at all. There's no middleman. You just put your buy link in your workflow. And so here's an example of some workflows that are live right now. This one's not free. So it says you got to pay because I made that as a test. But this one is like totally free. Not this one, but this one. And you can see it's like it'll have the prompt, any files and resources used. So you guys can use that tool to like share workflows and build workflows. But these workflows today are going to be available in Slack if you would like an export. But again, this one in particular is nothing crazy. It just says scrape the info off the site, return JSON. So if you want that workflow, I can give it to you. That's no problem at all.
I'm jumping in real quick, Ross. Steve, I don't know if you are a member of class or not. I'm not seeing you in the Slack channel, and it just might be a Sarah problem. We are reserving the speaker panel for students, so I hope that you forgive me ahead of time. And until I suss it out, I just want to welcome you and say, hey, I see you, and I'm thankful that you're here. We're trying to conduct class. So if you are new and visiting, this is season 7. This is week 3, which is crazy to think about. And we're using AI to enhance products that we're building. Ross is right now in. Thank you, honey. I just want to give you a big hug. I appreciate you beyond words. And it is one of those things that Wednesday night classes, this is what we're trying to do. It is a unique environment where we're hacking our own education in a digital makerspace. So I do invite you also to come back on Thursday morning. I apologize for interrupting you, Ross. I just wanted to make sure.
Fine.
All right, go ahead, continue. The live stream is up top, folks, so you can watch what we're building ahead
So
and ask questions in the purple bubble. Go ahead.
anyone who's here right now and watching the live stream, basically we created our own scraper in 2 seconds. So normally this would have to be something you build in Python, but now you can scrape pages just using this. So this is a tool that you can build in the API and put it in your app, and then you can literally charge people to run the workflows. And that's the whole idea of an API, right? Exposing technology and allowing you to build with it. The same technology that we're using to power the apps that you guys love, we're allowing you guys to build with. So you can build the next greatest, coolest AI thing. And these workflows are super powerful.
Well, just to jump into the workflow is not just powerful. You need to have this in your quiver. You need to understand how to use the API key, and then all of these different bits and pieces you can cobble together. So that is a skill set that you all need to know and understand, especially with some of the new AI tools coming down the pipeline. Tech in Schools obviously has them all under one umbrella, but it is kind of important. So if something is confusing you, we need to know. So, John, I see that your hand is up. Go ahead, friend.
Thank you. Sometimes, so I just need a little clarity. So the workflow, the AI workflow hub that is part of the Tech in Schools, or
So I'll just help you understand really quick. It's not we built it, but it's not necessarily centric around our tools. It could be a workflow of any kind that you find or use on the internet, any tool in the world. The idea is to share workflows with friends. The idea of monetization comes in when you create your first workflow, right? You're going to become a creator automatically, and then you can choose, is this paid or not paid? If it's paid, you put your link to like PayPal or something with your product, or in the best case, Stripe. Then
so
when someone buys it, you can give them a special link that our platform will give you that will give them access to the workflow, which
so
would have your prompts and anything that is super specific that you did.
so I created an account on this a couple days ago, and then I didn't. I still have a website I got to finish. I still got to the net clicks and all this stuff. A lot comes at us when you take
Well,
courses here. Let me just, and I was just so the point of this, because I have the thing is, I need to start to build out my profile, start to make the workflows that I've already created on here, either public or charged, promote this as much as I can. And this is a nice space that you all are hosting. Um, and right now it's it's free to put up my little
yeah.
portfolio.
So just to be super clear, unlike things like Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, all this, they take a cut. We're not managing the payment and we're also not taking a cut. We just put it online. We're hosting it for you guys, for everyone that wants it. There's going to be no charge at all. And it could be not necessarily, it could have like workflows with ChatGPT that are not AI Tutor, for example, that you want to sell. This is a great way to create a profile, start putting out workflows. It'll be found on Google. So your workflows will show up on Google that are free. So you'll start to get like link backs. So if you have a company, you can go put your company logo on your profile. Profiles are shareable and you don't need to be logged in. So like someone could find your profile, view your workflow, and you can have contact info in your bio. Think of it like not a storefront, but like it's like a workflow front where people can like see what you're doing if it's free, and if not, they're hitting a Stripe link. So when you get to the workflow and you're not you, it's someone else, they're going to be pushed to a payment link. And then when confirmed and you get paid, you can give them the private link, which will allow them to see the workflow and the private files. We're handling the hosting, we're hosting the media. You can have tutorial videos. We'll handle that hosting too. There's no limit. We're using our own technology to host it. The whole idea is to increase sharing of workflows for people and provide you a little way that you can begin to gate workflows and sell them. But we're not taking anything. It's a completely free thing that we built.
Again, thank you all so much for what you're doing, and so I can promote this as much as possible. My profile, share my link, tell everybody come here if you have a business or what have you. It's wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're actually going to keep developing it and updating it. So if you have ideas that you want there, let us know. We were even contemplating putting like a text-based post, so you can make like posts on your profile about things, like not Twitter, but like just posts on your profile. What's really nice about it is if I have something with AI Tutor that I want to show you, AI John, I can make a workflow and just send it to you, and you can like literally follow it. There's tutorial. It looks gorgeous. Like the UI is really nice. The layout when you view. So if you go there for the first time right now, check out the one that says like Cling. I made that one, and it's got video content. It's got images. And I think one of the coolest things that we built, AI John, you're gonna love this. So if you go to a workflow, right? And by the way, this is all built by AI Tutor. I built it in like 2 days. So
And
like
you
let's
already
say,
have the PDF thing.
well, we're gonna talk about that right now. Yeah. So and it's not just a PDF, it's super fancy, Rutro. Watch this. So notice how there's only one paragraph here, right? A step-by-step guide on how to use Kling, right? You see it on live stream? And there's just like some steps here. Not a lot of words, right? We can agree? Now, if I hit PDF, some magic happens. So check this out. It uses a workflow to basically take the images, lift the images out of this website. So there's 2 images and 3 videos. So we can't lift video, but we lifted images. And I used AI to construct a professional executive report. Executive report, guys, on the workflow and what it is. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Look, I can literally send this to people explaining a work. Look at all the. It created like 4 paragraphs of what this is about because it read everything. And then it also has the steps, beautiful layout, like a little ebook with your pictures parsed into it. So I wanted to build something that would automatically or automagically create executive professional PDFs of your workflows that you could literally send to a client and be like, "Here's one of my workflows," and you can give them a PDF once they pay, because the PDF is just like a take-home version of the website version, but with AI enhancement. So that's what the AI Workflow Hub is. It's not an AI tutor release. It's not a new thing on Pixio. It's not AI at all. It's just something to help and you guys and empower you guys. Like all of you should have accounts for real, and you should start putting workflows and start putting premium workflows. And then you can link someone to the site, and you don't have to worry about payment because we're not even taking it. You are. So there's a place where it says put payment link. Put your Stripe link and move on with your day. And you have a little storefront of prompts.
You know how powerful this is? First of all, thank you, Ross. But you know what's cool? What you just said with backlinks. You're so genius. That's all I want to
Genius.
say. You are
Backlinks are so genius.
you're so freaking genius. When I look at that video tutorial from that dude, that YouTube video, you have so many followers, and you just created a backlink. You are so, I'm sorry, Sarah, I was about to say,
You said fracking. I heard it.
yeah,
Um,
so
also,
fracking genius, bro.
this is
You're
what
the
your profile looks like. So you
you're
can
the
share your
best.
profile.
Just so you know, Dan does have his hand up, and
Yeah,
I
no
think
problem.
he just had to take a lap too. Man, we lost him. He was like a
So
little fish wiggling on a hook.
if you guys look while Dan comes back, if you guys look at my screen, this is the shareable profile. So it has like a little bio, it has some social media connections that you could do, and it has your workflows here that people could see. In your settings, you could actually set social media links. See? GitHub, LinkedIn, website, location, and a little bio. And this is all public on the creators tab. So once you join, you're going to be shown on creators. And then models and tools are automatically populated. And Discover is finding all the workflows on the platform. So it's a cool thing. We find it really useful to share workflows with people. And hopefully you guys utilize it and begin to monetize some of your workflows, because until now, they don't really know a way to do it, right? So there's like going on Twitter, making a thread, and then telling people about it, and then being like, join my website. That's one way. Ineffective. Then there's like Fiverr. Well, Fiverr takes money. Buy me a coffee seems kind of strange because it's called coffee and not buy me a workflow. And then like Patreon and all these other things, there's like percentage taken. So I was like, what is the easy way to just say, here's a workflow and I want to gate it, or I don't? It didn't exist. It's like a social network, but without social media, just workflows.
So, quick question: do you have any like guidance on the pay portion, like the charging or not charging? And
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no guidance. You like go to Stripe, make a pay link, call it $20, make a workflow, put the link. Like you could charge $1, you could be free. It doesn't matter. But I know Like, for example, AI John, if he can create a workflow that can do market research for someone, that company would probably pay someone to do it like $500. So in this case, he can have a workflow for $499. Once purchased, they could run it over and over and over again in the AI Tutor API. But who's going to take the time to set up the whole workflow? And that is where selling the workflow comes in handy. But AI John also could have a baby version, one input for free. And then if you want to see the more crazy one, if you're going to click it and it's going to say paid. So in my case, if I click this one, it says pay $10. This is premium. And it blurs out the content. So you can't see it. Inspired by like a mix of Patreon and like, I don't know. There's nothing that sells workflows. But whatever. This is what it does. You don't have to use it. There's not mandatory. Highly recommend doing it because you'll start getting SEO immediately. These pages are indexed. I built it on purposely like that. So all workflows are going to start showing up in Google. And they could link right back to your website. And you don't even need to have a buy link. You could literally, like Sharon, right? Here's a great example. Every workflow, right? You can have free ones, then you can have paid ones, but they don't actually pay you. It comes with the magazine. So your pay link goes to the subscribe for your magazine. So you want to unlock all the workflows on Sharon's AI Workflow Hub? Just buy the magazine. Simple.
You
So
are so
that's what it
genius.
is.
He's so genius, Sarah. He's the most
Well,
genius
part of it is
person.
that he already knew all of this stuff, and what he's doing is he's helping each and every one of us maximize, not just SEO. There's a lot of stuff here, and I think it's really important to also understand that we're living in a time where it is a fourth turning, right? Each one of us is our own nation states. And so instead of using someone else's social network, you're creating an entire ecosystem around your product. You're baking other people into your ecosystem, and it is a very powerful link. And I think, especially when you create something that is valuable to other people, and that it helps them in meaningful ways, then they stick to you. It's something that's really, really powerful. And you're absolutely right, Sharon. I don't think folks really truly understand until they see it in action. And when they see it in action, they're like, oh my gosh, I finally understand it. I get it. And I think the more that you see the interactions and the connections, because a lot of us, you know, y- uh, we don't pay attention to these things, for people that are, let's say, content creators, they understand this kinds of stuff. I'll think a little bit better than others, put it that way. And what has been built here is just, it's mind blowing. And yes, Ross is a genius. He doesn't let his genius flag fly very often, but I think there are a number of us that have, will wear his his flag on our t-shirts and parade around in the public domain, because this is pretty freaking cool. I'll just say it that way. I did see that Lucia needed to come on up. I'm wondering, did you have a question, Lucia?
Yeah, I'm a little behind because I wasn't able to be here fully focused the entire time. But so being that I'm behind, my questions are kind of like too many for here. But um, I guess I want to know really quick on this is how do you um get it to shop? Like, how do you go from workflow to selling it? Like, that's my disconnect. Like you make a workflow and then you're gonna go put it on the internet. Like, how do you get to that point?
So basically, here's the quick and dirty version, right? Right now, there's like 100 million tools, and people do amazing things. So I'm sure you scroll on timeline, you're like, wow, that AI video looks insane. And then you're like, going to do it yourself. And you're like, oh, my video looks horrifying. This looks like a horror movie. It's got 4 arms, you know? So, like, the difference between you and that person is the workflow. What model, how they prompt, all that stuff, right? It's not just the workflow that you see here. So you're conflating two of the same words, right? There's workflow and in the AI Tutor API, right? Which is this thing that we're doing right now, how we're building. Then there's the overarching term, workflow. So what you do to achieve a desired result. So for example, a lot of people were in the build a YouTube thing. Some people didn't finish it. Or Netflix. Some people did, right? Some people finished it and it worked, but it didn't like change, right? But then there's people like Masha, and you look at her version and my version, and they're wildly different. Almost like two things that never had anything to do with each other. Now, between what you guys have, what I gave you, and what Masha has, the difference is the workflow that she used to do that, which in her case is heavy usage of AI Tutor and how she prompts and all that. If she were to condense that into a workflow like how to customize Next.js with ChatGPT or AI Tutor or whatever, that process with a training video, right? Because you can upload training tutorial videos, so they could be like a 20-minute video you can upload. That process is worth paying for. Do you understand? And so in that case, how would you buy it? That's where we created this platform, the AI Workflow Hub, not to be confused with API workflows. Does that make sense?
I think so. The AI workflow hub, that's where you find the workflows that are in the shop.
You can make your own shop
In the same place.
in the website. So
Or
you go there, like right now, it's in the Jumbotron. You can go there and sign up, and Lucia could be a creator selling books. It could range from how to homeschool with ChatGPT. That could be something you sell. And
okay.
it's not like a GPT, it's how you did it. So how you created a custom GPT or how you used AI Tutor to make a lesson plan. That's what people are after. Like
Oh,
everyone wants to know how. That's the most important part right now. That's why all of you are
okay.
here is the how. How do we build functioning full stack web apps using AI and code? That's the how.
That makes sense. Well, I got a lot to learn, but this is very interesting. So I'm listening and trying to catch up.
And you will learn. We're gonna have our session and at some point in the near future, and you're gonna learn a lot, guaranteed.
Thanks, Ross.
And we'll go over all of this stuff. But the idea behind it, honestly, Lucia, and all of you listening right now, is everyone always asks me the same question, like, what would you do right now to make money, right? And it's simple. You don't need to like build an AI thing to make money. People want to pay, like people pay for less quality right now on X. People pay for like dumb coaching calls and things that are stupid. But you can bring things that are not dumb. No one needs a course. That's so like pre-AI. The course boys are done. What you need now is the how, the workflows. That's where the money's at. And if you don't believe me, wait till you make your first workflow sale and you will see. And if you've done it already and you've helped someone do something with AI, you basically did a workflow sale. Just it wasn't packaged in a present with a bow. But now you can do that. But you don't have to. We built it to make it easier to take those first steps. Like, here's my profile. Check out my 5 workflows. One of them is not free. It's pretty cool.
Quick question. So now I totally get when you said threads. So those are gone. So you could just easily take something that somebody's
Yeah.
put in a thread. Yeah.
And what I want to do next is import thread to workflow.
Oh, right. I like that.
Yeah. Right now, you could do import export. So you can actually have AI Tutor create a workflow in JSON and upload it in import.
Is there a limit to the number of steps?
No, that's the cool part. It can have 100 steps. It doesn't matter. And at the end, it creates a little ebook for you.
And the resources is that just
Links,
links? Okay, links
links,
only.
media, anything. But the idea is to just create a way that you can sort of give a workflow to someone, whether it's free or not free. But I also want to make it flexible. So, like, if AI John likes Zelle and he wants to use a Zelle link, we're not going to be like, oh, you need to use Stripe or sign up with this or here's a percent. It's like, use your Zelle link. Who cares? That's fine. It's your link, anyways. Like, we're not managing the payment nor facilitating it or adding anything on top. It's completely free. And that's what really doesn't exist. But we're in the position that we could build that. So we did.
So where's the payment piece in the workflow?
Doesn't exist. You choose paid, like this is paid, and you just put a link. So you have to go to Stripe and make your own payment link,
Oh,
or
okay.
get your own PayPal or whatever. You do that, which is good because now there's no middleman.
And that would go in the additional resources area, or?
No. So if you look on my screen, here's what a workflow looks like when it's paid. You literally can't even see it.
Okay, hang on. Let me refresh.
It looks just like, and it would go to your link. And then once someone buys it, you can give them the special link, which is the not public link.
But in the creation part, where do you put that at?
So when you make a workflow, after you're all done, you would go to edit. So here's edit. Right here, it says this is paid. You see it? Super easy.
Aha. Thank you. I didn't get to that page yet. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
so this happens after your workflow is done. So when your workflow is created, you can go to edit and you'll be able to turn monetization on. There's no verification, no waiting list. You can literally just have a paid workflow tomorrow. And what do you think consultation is, guys? AKA paid workflows with a Google meeting. That's what AI consultation is. It's just someone using your workflow that your brain concocted. So this is just a nicer way to display it. That makes sense. And plus, you'll have your information on other site for backlinks, which is also always great. And it's like
So
a
they're not
clean
really
website.
executing anything in here. They're just following your work
They're just
process.
following a workflow, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that workflow word, it bothers me, but I
No,
get
but
it.
you just have to get over it because it's a really popular word. So does that make sense? Are we good there?
Can you run through that one more time? Because my video was stuck.
Oh, what it looks like when you buy it?
Yeah, like what you just did there with the whole, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is what it looks like when you buy it. You see it? So if you guys want to see it yourself, I can actually share it with you in Slack. So if you go to Slack, I'll share the buy link. Or not the buy link, but a link. So if you click it right now, that link, that's going to bring you to the page that says you have to buy it. But of course you can't buy it. I just send it to my website. There's no buy link for real. Because mine will be free. But this is how it would be gated. Now, if it was my workflow, right? And I wanted it to be free, first step, edit. So I'm gonna do this is paid. I'm gonna say $10. And I'm gonna give I don't really have a buy link. So we'll just use this. Now here's what's cool. Check this out. This is gonna probably clear up all your questions. Once I do this and it's paid, now I have an access link. So see the access link? It says this is a special link. Every time you open this link, it has a secret password. So if I hit copy, this is the link with the secret password. So if you click the first link, it's going to say restricted. If you click the second link, the workflow will be visible. And that's how the security works. It uses salt and hash and a database that me and AI Tutor came up with. Very smart, actually. because I
So
wanted
when
it to
does
be like off road. I didn't want to deal with payment. I didn't want any cost on top of what it is.
this become live, or how do you publish it?
It's live as soon as you create a workflow.
And then you have to go back and edit and then add the pay. So you better
Yeah.
be quick.
Yeah. You don't even have to fill out the workflow. You can go make a workflow with one step, save it, add money, and then finish it. But that's how it works. And you will show up on the creators tab once you make a workflow. And this is going to have a domain probably next week. And it's going to be good. And yeah, Kling AI is awesome. That's why we love Kling in Pixio. So if you have Pixio, VidCraft HD is Kling, and it's awesome.
Ross, so in the dashboard where the AI Tutor API, that's where we've been making workflows. There's a way to link that to this workflow, the AI workflow hub, and the interface and the output, is it through the AI workflow hub?
No,
So
no,
it
they're two
looks
totally different things. So the API is for you to build something. The workflow is like if you have I know you do dentists. So if you have a dentist that he wants to learn how to do market research each quarter for his earnings, right? Across other dentists. That's a workflow. So you could charge him money to get access to the workflow so he doesn't need to build anything. He just logs into the AI Tutor API and he could import your workflow and run it whenever he needs. No application needed, no coding, and then you sell it to him via the AI workflow platform.
But
Versus,
where do I make the workflow on the AI Tutor
well, yeah,
API?
because that's how you're going to distribute it. Unless you build it in your own app, that's different, which you could do also.
Yeah, because I have it built and I had that issue,
But
but
like
I'll
right
get
now, you're an SEO dude. You do a bunch of stuff with AI, right? You use AI Tutor and you use different models and do things. Each things of the things that you do, you could publish as a workflow for free. That's going to help your SEO and build authority as someone in AI because you have workflows that are easy to follow, catchable by Google, mobile friendly, and easily distributable. Right now, you have to like email someone, send them a tweet, send them like 6 tweets, send them screenshots and a video. It's really kind of convoluted. Now it's a lot easier. That's what this solves. It's not complicated. It's not to connect with our API. It's like nothing like that. It's a simple thing, and it sounds sort of simple, but like it's impactful because for example, what comes to mind was like having issues, and I can create a workflow that says creating and using agents. That's a workflow, and it'll be free. I'm not charging for it, but it's an easy way to distribute it to her. But you, AI John, I would do like 2 for free, and then the really good ones, like how to do deep research on market analysis for your brand quarterly, using Chat GPT and similar AI tools. You can build that workflow like a blog, but for a workflow. Does that make sense?
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna make a workflow here, and I'll figure that out if exactly how to actually make it on the workflow.
It's just like you explaining how to do something, but like easily now. Because the knowledge is the problem right now, yeah, John. It's not. There's a lot of tools. It's how you use the tools that matter. Like everyone could go buy a guitar, but who's gonna sell out a stadium because they sound really good when they play the guitar? Not everyone. That takes knowledge and skill. Same thing. Knowing how to do things is the sort of wall that everyone is gonna hit, and slowly you begin to unlock it when you start to use these tools.
Right, so we can connect our profile to like a link tree or something, right?
Exactly. It basically acts as like a little like centric to you profile page with your workflows. You can see your shareable link on your profile.
So, quick question. So, like with John's sort of example, his marketing research and analysis, he could sort of like do like a high level, this is what I do with my market research. He could have people purchase that as he's promoting it on his social and his spaces. People could purchase that there, and then he could provide the link, or would they be given a link?
Yeah, he
Or
gets a special link that he gives to people that purchase inside our platform that would link to it. You can see it right now live, guys. Go in Slack. There's two links. One is gated. One's unlocked with secret password.
and so would they be different? They would be different? And then how about the importing of that? Or would they be different or unique to the person purchasing it, or it's the
Yeah.
link no matter what?
No, the link can be regenerated on like when people purchase. So you can have many different passwords going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's like really super cool because you don't really have to think about, oh God, I have to put it here or there. You just put it there and voila, right?
Like basically you're just creating like how you would write a blog to distribute information. You're creating a workflow to share how you did something in AI. Now, sharing it means it could be free or you could share it for money. Another way of sharing.
Yeah, instead of like, hey, go to YouTube and here's all my things, or I don't know. Yeah.
Well, no, even better. It could have the YouTube video, the tutorial, everything, all the resources, the GitHub you use, anything, all in steps 1, 2, 3. Like, I'm surprised this doesn't exist.
It's starting to seep into the noggin. Slow.
Like, if I'm gonna train a Laura on my face and make images of me, that's like an 8-step process. That if not done properly, it's wrong.
See it as a tutorial,
Yeah,
basically. You're teaching somebody how to do something, a step-by-step guide,
exactly.
and Ross just made it possible for us to make that process so easy digitally. You can use this as all kinds of things. You can give this if you're trying to get, how do you call this? It's like a freebie. You can give these things out for freebies. It's like a portfolio too of yours that you can gather, right? Besides GitHub, it's like a new GitHub. These are all my workflows. This is what I've done in AI. I mean, you can use this for all kinds of stuff. This is wild. I like this.
Yeah,
It's so
you'll
simple.
really see the power of it, Sharon. If you open your little cell phone right now, just whip out the cell phone, go to Slack, open up the second link on your phone. Not only did I make it easy to create and share, I made it super friendly to all the screens. So when you see it mobile, it's like, wow, I could read a whole workflow that's like 15, 20 steps really easy on my phone. And you guys can
It's
see
like
this
telling
right now, live in the Slack. I sent 2 versions of the workflow, one gated, one unlocked. Do you guys see it?
Yes, Ross, it works.
So that's what your workflows will look like when you build them. And if you click my profile, like you can see what the profile page looks like too. And the best part, guys, you don't need to be logged in to see the workflow. So it's awesome, easy to share. You only have to log in when you want to make a workflow. Even paying, you don't have to log in. So consuming, you don't need an account. You can just look at the workflow, click the buy link, and that's it. You don't even need an account. It's the seamless, easiest way to distribute workflows, I think.
Ross, when you said like the YouTube, the GitHub, because it was like, oh, it's like selling your recipes to make a dish.
Say again?
Like when you said, like even if you put up your YouTube, your GitHub, I was like, oh, it's like selling your recipes that how to make a dish.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone wants to talk about the cake that they made, but no one wants to talk about the 6 hours on how to do it. Same idea. I'm just tired of seeing like four or five threaded tweets where they're like, make money using AI in this thread, and then it's like the most dumbest thing you've ever seen in your whole life, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? And you start questioning everything while you're on social media. And it's so I'm just like, What if it can be just like quality, like good premium top tier quality, but no paywall for the user, like the creators, only paywall for the user. You know, every other app I've ever seen that's like this, like Linktree, it's reverse. So they're charging you, the creator, not the user. We're flipping that around because it's stupid. Like, buy me a coffee is dumb that it takes money from you. It's so stupid. But there has to be a better middle ground between, like, for example, sorry, AI John, like Zelle and buy me a coffee, right? And the middle is like Stripe, your own payment link, looks totally legit, and you just put it there. And then you can like use it, that link over and over to sell workflows. You could even change the price in Stripe and change the price here. Or you can make it all free and just generate SEO for yourself. Maybe you're Lucia and you want to help other mothers at home. So you're gonna make 2 workflows a week on how to do homeschooling with AI. These workflows are the things that your digital assets that you can then disperse to your customers, even gated, so it can say $10, but you can just give them the secret link anyways.
So I'm on the workflow, create an AI agent to surf the web. How do I get to it? Because when I click multi-bot, it doesn't go directly to the multi-bot. It goes to
No, yeah, but these are like demos I set up. Like I'm gonna delete all the demos.
okay.
These
So
are
because I
if
just
you
made
make your
one.
own, like the best one so far is Kling. Kling has all the right information. I made one that's like fully real, most of it. But you have to fill it all in, right? When you hit create workflow, you can fill all this in and you make it real. I made some demos. So make your own, make it all real info, and you'll see how it works.
I'm making one right now.
And
I'm
add steps.
Lucia, did you have a question, hon?
Yeah, I was wondering how do you make that workflow have videos and images and all that? Like it looks like
So
a website.
when you go there, the first thing says tutorial video. You can put a YouTube there. And then you can upload media. We built our own upload service where you
Where
can
are you talking?
upload.
Are you talking about in the hub? Like in the
Yeah, in the hub.
like or in the workflow?
No, not an API. You cannot upload videos in the API yet. This is in the AI hub only.
Oh, okay. And so how do you like you would make your workflow and then edit it,
Yeah.
right? And then you would add the videos then?
Yeah, you can add the videos anytime. You could even create a course out of these workflows. Each workflow could be like a course.
Okay. But that's in the edit area.
Yeah, you have to hit edit
And
after creation.
then you can start adding images
Yep.
or videos or stuff. Okay.
And we're going to be launching private workflows too, which won't show up anywhere. It'll all
So
be free too.
Cool.
And if you have ideas, let us know in Slack. We'll put it in. It's easy.
so I've got to create because I created one. I created a couple on Vercel, but they broke. So I'm going to use that ULR for one I create on Vercel and then put it in there. Or I could create an app where they have to, or a series of
No, it'd be
prompts.
like if you're I don't know what you're trying to do, but like if you had code that you created and it was on Vercel, you can maybe create a workflow and then one of the links is the actual code, and that's why you're charging for it. Like you can do whatever you want. But I see you made one and you just didn't put info, but you can see what it did already. It already made you as a creator and it put whatever model or tool you put, it already created Side Hustle AI agent is now an AI tool. Do you see what it does? It's like great marketing.
I already made an agent that does this through
Yeah, so now you would
multi.
talk about it and take pictures, screenshots, talk about the steps and like lay it all out. That's the workflow, how you did it. Not what you did, how you did it. What you did is what someone's buying. But the workflow is how. But if you're do you understand?
All right, so I'll make the app or whatever on Vercel. I'll describe the whole thing, and then if someone wants to do a test run, and then they can purchase it for $1 a month or whatever.
Yeah. And then you go to Stripe, you create a thing that's a subscription, similar to like how other people do things on Stripe. Call it $1 a month. Put that link there. When they subscribe, all your workflows become free. Make sense?
So let's make that ebook,
Wait, which ebook?
the one that for these little workflows in our workflow.
Well, you got to make the workflow first, and then you can hit PDF to get like a little
Oh, not
ebook.
I moved on. Sorry, I'll wait.
Ross, I have a quick question. So, like, say when you sell, like, say for example, if you do sell a workflow, is it a way where they can't like duplicate it or sell it, themselves? If
Not really. But if you have a business and you have it like a real company, like LLC, I mean, you can literally sue people for that and issue takedown requests. But yeah, not really. It's kind of cost of doing business.
true.
Ross,
That's
I got a
why.
quick question,
What's
actually.
up?
Oh, sorry. I was wondering how I was trying to get add more rows into the variable section, like AI John Allen has in his executive summary. You can see it's got like in business objectives, he's got a bigger space for you to type out, let's say, like a paragraph.
Yeah.
I was trying to add rows and it wouldn't add it. Could you just show me
But
where to
where?
go specifically?
But where? Like in your
In the
code?
workflow page .tsx.
But you're in code. You're talking about code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an AI tutor thing. You're just like here is like you would go to the part where it says like the thing you want to change, and you say AI tutor, make it multi-line. But we're gonna go over that in a second. Anyways. So now
Okay,
that's all
sweet. Thanks.
covered. Basically, now I have some new workflows, and if I wanted to use them, like scraper, blog to PDF, these sort of things, we got to build them. So from where I stand right now, this is what our website looks like. I did customize the front page a little bit, but not really concerned about that. More concerned about here. So here it says chatbot. This is basically a workflow is an example. So what we need to do is pull up this and this. So step one is chatbot needs to be kind of duplicated. First, we have to see what we're doing. Hold on. Okay. So chatbot is going to be on dashboard. So we need to basically figure out how this is constructed. So workflows right here. So I see dashboard, activity, chatbot, general, streaming, workflow. So workflow is this page. So in order to make this work, we need a second one like that. So workflow copy. And now I'm going to just call it number 2. In theory, putting a 2 here would bring us there. Yep. So we're going to call this scraper. So we're going to try and find where the title is. Right here. And we're going to call this scraper. You see how it's like changing in real time? Guys? Check it out. This is how you migrate it to be a different workflow. Do you see? And then on the menu, we would need to add it. So menu would be probably a component. nav main sidebar. Let's see, hold on. Gotta make it bigger. So we'll search because it's not in sidebar. Well, this word is too general. Hang on. App sidebar. Okay, so here we go. So instead of just workflow, we're gonna have another one. And we'll call it workflow 2. And we'll send it to workflow 2. See? Now it's here. Except it's a really bad name. Scraper tool. So are you guys following what I'm doing right now? We're literally editing the files to create another workflow here. So this is the original, which works. And this is the new one. Any questions so far?
Yeah, what are you in there? Like, what is that?
This is VS Code, our friendly neighborhood code editor.
Oh, okay, the VS Code. You're
And then I have the SAS that we're working on the left.
got it. Don't got it, but got it.
Don't got it, want to get it.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
you're gonna learn. Don't worry. But it's good to expose yourself to understanding what we're doing. So asking questions is always appreciated. Now, this other problem we got going on is it's like talking about story time. And we also want to make sure when we scrape that we turn it into a downloadable scrape document. So we'll do like a PDF too. So first step is developer and AI tutor, of course, our friend. Now, the job here is interesting. So we have to do a few things. So AI tutor needs to physically understand a few things. So we need in dashboard, we have API. So you notice we have run route, right? Chat route. So it's not really going to work. So what we need to do is duplicate run. It's like having another run, right? And this is going to be run copy, but it's not. It's going to be run 2, our second workflow. So we're going to give it the code to AI Tutor, first step. Second step is the page that we're changing. So in our case, let's close all this stuff. In our case, it's going to be pages, dashboard, workflow 2. This is the page. So those are the 2 files that make this thing work. Yeah. But what we want is we want a few things. We want it to turn it into a PDF, the answer. So first, we're going to go to the API and say, here is the way you make this thing work. JavaScript. So we're going to give it that. And then we're going to tell it the output result needs to be including markdown, so it's pretty. And when you hit download, you get a PDF of the data formatted nice. And we'll have a download button on it, under it, and all of that. So then we're going to just say fix my code and adjust to use the scraper workflow. Inputs are site. That's it. So the user will input a website URL to the API call. See what it does? So we have a few files we gotta edit. So we have run. So we're reading it because we read first, people. Read first. So it's good. Site. I see it. Site. Perfect. This looks good. We're gonna try it. Route.ts. So API run to. So we'll do that. Now, the other thing that we have to do is if you look closely, it said workflow ID, right? That needs to be 2. So in our EMV, we need workflow ID 2 to make this work. So then we need workflow dashboard workflow page. So that's this. Okay. And then it said we got to install this. Now we know that we use PMPM. So we're just going to be cool. And we're going to just put a P and then paste what AI Tutor gave us. Because we know that it's going to give us NPM. Hold on, let me save this. Actually, is PMPM being weird? It's being weird again. You know, I restarted my computer to fix this last time. It's crazy. I can't use NPM, I don't think. Maybe. Okay, no. We'll restart the computer in a second, but I want to save everything. So here's the workflow ID. The second workflow ID. Okay, hold on. Saved. Okay, this looks good. Now let's go to the site, see what it looks like. Refresh. There we go. So this is what it looks like now. So you can see that it's like properly setting everything up. We need to create a history. Oh, that's the other history. That's fine. Scraper tool works. Everything works. I just don't know without installing this like thing if it will work, but we'll try. I might have to restart the computer. Missing story parameter. Okay, so that's interesting. So API run 2. We forgot to do that because we're like a little tired. It's going though. So once I changed it to run 2, the API was able to know where to go to make the right decision to use the right workflow, but in the same app. So one app, 2 workflows. Is this working? I don't know because I might have to install something to make it do the download, but we'll see. But it's actually using Firecrawl right now, which is really cool. Now the result is going to be JSON. Remember, we have to then turn it into Markdown and turn it into like beautiful cards of information, potentially. Let's see what it does. Now, if it, oh, it worked. Check it out, guys. It scraped that whole page. This is so cool. Of course, there's no download button because like I didn't do that. Now, we want to take the result, right? Because it comes like this. We're going to tell AI Tutor for the result output, we want to make a nice layout of information and cards and links instead of the JSON output here. Now this is kind of complicated because we're now not exporting English, kind of, but we're going to adjust this. So now it wants us to go to story display. Now here's what we don't want to do. It says go paste it there, but we know better, you know, we just do. So we're not going to do that. So that's crazy. We're going to go and we're going to go to it. And it should be here somewhere. We just have to find it. We did. Now we're going to copy it. We're going to call it, what do you know? Story display 2. Guys, we're keeping it simple because we don't want to make mistakes, you know? Simple, simple, simple. So we're going to go here in this code. And it's going to actually reference the story display. We're going to say use number 2. Then we're going to go to AI Tutor, who graciously gave us this code. And we're going to put it in story display 2. And now we're going to see what it looks like. So it already says it cannot find this, which is expected because we can't install things. So we're going to try something. I'm going to delete the lock. Let me see if I can install it with npm. And if not, I'm going to just save all this stuff and restart really quick. But before I do, I'm going to give this to AI and fix this last error. Do you guys have any questions? Because this is like the proper way to go about fixing this. A little bit of you, a little bit of AI makes the dream come true. It's together.
Ross, Artie does have a question.
Sure.
Oh, so Ross, I tried to crawl a .eth site, not a .com, but a .eth .limo, and it wouldn't do it for me. Is there any way to fix that?
You degen. I love
All
it.
right.
What are you trying to search? Like, give me an
Well,
example.
I have artificial.eth.limo as my home page.
How do you spell it?
ARTIEFISHAL.ETH.LIMO, limo, like a limousine. It should bring it to it.
You know, it does. So what
Let's
does
see
it do
how
when
I
you put it there?
that's where I'd like to like put a workflow there. You know what I mean?
But what happens when you do it?
Well, when I crawl that, it tells me it's not a good URL. It's not a good website. It says put a website, and if I do anything without the HTTPS www, it fails. You know what I mean? So
You know what, Artie? I wonder if you could actually mint that your entire site or use AR, Arweave. And if you do it that way, because it's on the perma web, it may be able to do that with your ETH address or any of the pirate money sites, I should say. But I've noticed that might help because
It
.eth
doesn't
can
look like
get
it
weird.
failed though. It looks like I mean I just ran it through my scraper. It works.
really,
Does it really? That's
Yeah.
freaking cool.
because when I did it, it didn't work. It just failed.
Oh, you probably have spaces in your variable. Check that.
Okay.
So in your variable, it should be curly curly site curly curly, no spaces.
Well, I
Wait,
think
did you do a .eth too, Ross, or did you just do
I
ETH?
literally put in .eth.limo.
That's freaking cool.